Cole types out a ticket for the admins to help. Fuck, he almost screams the curse as the menu reads an error when he tries to post about his issue. Repeated efforts on other threads throughout the forum turn up only errors. Before he can drown in despair, Cole notices something odd. Most of the threads throughout the forum are celebratory. Unknown King. Greetings, fellows of the cosmos. Welcome to the launch. Butterfly. Woo! OG gangster right here. Our guild, Twilight Ride, is recruiting. Post if you want to join. Anonymous. Recruit on your own planet. There's no point in doing it on the general forum. Justice Sword. +1. The number of comments floods the screen, and one thing is obvious. This isn't the 6th expansion of Cosmos. It's the launch of the base game. Cole breathes out heavily. This is not happening. This can't be happening. He repeats the words as a mantra, wishing they were true. Inevitably, the silence of his prison turns numbing. Vague cries and moans break out randomly, causing Cole to sometimes jerk in response. Fortunately, he has the forum to preoccupy himself in the monotony of his room. It's all rather happy for the other players. Even if they find themselves in a bad spot, they can log out and go about their lives. But there's no logging out for Cole, and even if there was, would he be in his body from a decade ago? Time travel's not real, he tries to convince himself. This has to be a prank, but who would, or even could, pull off a prank like this? Maybe Cosmos itself is messing with him. System, Cole says evenly. What's going on? As a sentient algorithm, the system of Cosmos can express a certain degree of communication. Cole waits for a moment before the algorithm responds. NPC Cole Luna has been captured by the Red Sect. Given the designation of Acolyte of the Red Sect, Cole Luna is the subject of inhuman experiments to summon otherworldly entities into the vessel of the Acolyte. Cole's brow tightens. The Red Sect, he questions. The system continues. The Red Sect of Planet Rune is a chaotic evil cult bent on the corruption of the living. The Red Sect is opposed by world governments of Planet Rune. Cole sighs. Those fanatics. Cole searches his memories for the planet Rune. During the early days of Cosmos, Rune was a beginner world where players would start, level up, and eventually venture into the wider galaxy beyond. The player base during the early days of Cosmos was in the millions, but it would grow to hundreds of millions as the expansions rolled on. Right now, the starting worlds should be about a dozen. Each world tends to have a certain style of classes and environments. Some planets favor machine technology, some prefer physical combat classes, others prefer holy and evil magics. Rune happened to be a world of magic, but with limited technological advances. Cole tries to process everything that's going on, but he realizes that he can't. System, he says. Force logout for Cole Luna. Command not recognized. Cole grits his teeth. Why? The system waits a moment before stating. Cole Luna is not a player character. Fuck, he screams his frustration. Cole begins beating his head against a wall. As the hours press on, Cole scans the forums, paces his cell, and screams at the system. The stoic Cole Luna that he had been before is unraveling. Nothing works. He doesn't even have a class. Instead, he's an NPC. He's a goddamned non-player character, just a mob, a throwaway character that the players pass as they go on to face their adventures. Without even a pillow in the cold cell, Cole eventually finds sleep. Consciousness comes to Cole violently. A pair of ugly men kick him awake. "Get up, acolyte." Cole feels anger build up in him, but submits to their command. Soon, Cole is ushered into the room with the black chair. Immediately upon seeing the chair, Cole freezes. He's pushed forward and forced into the chair. His resistance is futile, and soon he's bonded once more. He is left in the darkness of the room for some time. As his body grows uncomfortable in its stationary position, Cole has time to contemplate his situation. The Red Sect is deeply tied to demon worship and summoning. By his expectation, they're trying to put a demon in his body. As the thought comes over his mind, he wonders if this is how his future self got summoned here. But none of that makes any scientific sense. None of this makes any sense. As he gets lost in thought, he notices the glimmer of two eyes. Cole's breath catches as the woman in the red dress approaches. "Acolyte," she says. "What are you?" Cole's mind is torn. The question is a trap, but he can only grit his teeth and say what she wants to hear. "I am an acolyte of the Red Sect." Her eyes narrow. Yes, you are. "Tell me," she commands, "what demon do you have inside you?" I don't know." The beautiful woman, whose slender fingers bind like a vice, grips Cole by the throat. He tries to breathe, but can't. As the seconds tick by, Cole's lungs begin to burn and convulse. The pain of suffocation builds, causing tears to fall from his eyes as he suffers. The misery brings him to the doorway of death, but as if bored, the woman releases him. Cole gags and heaves as he takes air back into his lungs. It takes some time for the noisy breathing to mellow. The woman in the red dress looks over him with mild interest. "How did you retain your mind, acolyte?" Cole feels tears pour down from his eyes as he shakes his head. "I don't know." She continues to question him on subjects he knows nothing of. "Your demon is weak," she finally says. "I doubt you will accomplish much, but even so, the summoning was successful." She seems to ponder something for a moment. "We will begin your indoctrination tomorrow. Rest for now." Her words should have been a relief, but the word indoctrination disturbed him. Indoctrination is a common practice for evil factions. It's not just a figurative indoctrination. It affects the mind attribute and can only break with the proper stat or stat buffs. As Cole is led to his cell, he pulls up his stats list. Name, Cole Luna. Strength, 1. Agility, 1. Stamina, 1. Mind, 1. Potential points, 0. As he looked at his abysmal stats, he looked at his potential points. These could be earned through crafting and combat, among many other tasks. With the indoctrination coming tomorrow, Cole would need at least 5 points in his mind stat. This means he needed to get 4 potential points before then, but there's nothing available to him. In this prison, there are no resources, only crumbling stone and a bucket. As despair threatens to overwhelm him, Cole's eyes land on a loosened rock on the wall. In Cole's long and varied career in Cosmos, he's played many roles and studied many of the professions in the game. The profession he liked the most was the simplest, at least in the early stages: engraving. To engrave is to carve a pattern into an object. All one needed is an engraving tool and a surface.